Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Rita Singh.
And I, Rakshit Gupta,
Would like to extend a very warm welcome to everyone present here for day 3 of the induction program for the batch 2021-24.
we hope that by now the newly admitted students of the SCMS family have learned a lot more about our college and are excited to proceed to day 3 of the induction program.
We kindly request Professor Sonika Rotella to welcome the gathering and start us off.
Thank you, Amrita. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So a very, very good morning to one and all, and a very special welcome to all our dear alumni. On behalf of our director and the entire Symbiosis family, my warm welcome to all of you. Thank you so much, and very much, I may say, for accepting our invitation and being part of this alumni panel discussion. It's always a proud moment for any institute when their alumni achieve great heights, they make a mark in diverse area of life, and they come back to you. So I'm very, very sure that the incoming batch will enjoy this panel discussion, and all of you will inspire them to reach their zenith. We truly appreciate all of you for making efforts, for taking time from your busy schedules. Welcome, and thank you once again for your time and effort. Welcome.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words.
Now we move on to the next segment of the day, a panel discussion with some of the distinguished alumni of SCMS Pune. The alumni in today's panel have established themselves in varying fields and continue to make their mark on the world. We are honored to have with us today Mr. Rohit Jindal, who is currently working as Director of Sales at MyGate. Leading a team of 500 plus people, he is also part of the founding team of the company. With an overall experience of 12 years in the corporate world with companies such as Citibank and HSBC, he is an alumni of SCMS as well as SIBM Bangalore.
The second alumni that we have on panel is Sonam Chukwadvani, currently a Sales Accounting Director for U.A.E. at COBONE. She was a part of the SCMS batch 2004-7 and later pursued her master's in business management at the University of Strathclyde, Glasgow. She's come a long way in terms of her corporate journey and has over 10 years of experience with e-commerce platforms in companies such as mentioned COBONE, Groupon, and Beam.
Mr. Moiz Kamil, who is working as the director of KaenatCorp while running development and strategy for his family business as well. The company is into manufacturing of architectural glass and aluminium glazings. He's also actively engaged in changing social, economic, and technological realities for the greater good.
We sincerely hope that the alumni inspire the current students to rise to their potential. May we request Dr. Sabiha Fazalboy to kindly moderate the session now.
Thank you so much, students. Welcome Moiz, welcome Sonam, and welcome Rohit. We welcome you aboard. I'm sure it must be nice to sit on the other side of the institute where you moved out from and made a mark for yourself. In this discussion, we hope you all will be able to enlighten our young minds who are sitting here and are waiting to enter the folds of SCMS Pune. Thank you so much. We once again thank all of you for taking out time from your busy schedules today and being with us. I understand Rohit, Sonam, Moiz, all of you are extremely busy and have a difficult schedule. Thank you again. I would like to begin off with Rohit, and having heard so much, read so much about you on LinkedIn, and known you through, of course, Dr. Ashutosh sir, and from a student to corporate successfully over 11 years. Rohit, may I ask you, what has been your learning mantra, and what would you want to tell our young minds here about your success story? Can you please share with us? Over to you, Rohit. I think, Rohit, we're not able to hear you. You were mute. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sure. We can. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Saiba, and thank you, Dr. Ashutosh and the management to invite me here. I really feel pleasure, to be part of this podium today. And, I would like to start by giving a glimpse of how the journey started when I joined SCMS in 2006. I was a 12th class pass out from a small town in India. And when I came to Pune to join Simbi, I think it's very overwhelming when we join the team. And, when you join such a prestigious college, it was definitely, that from there, I think the journey starts, Dr. Saiba, because till school, you are, involved in only education. And when you enter uh, a college like Symbiosis, I think you already enter a corporate world. And I'll explain to the students today how they should, according to me, look at their journey. I think when I would like to share, when I started off, I thought academics is everything. I remember my first semester in Simbi was all about study. I was just I was a very, very studious person, got more than 92% almost, got all the marks in the first sem. But then I realized that academics is not everything, and that I can tell today after 11 years in corporate. It's more about the overall personality which you develop, and college like Symbiosis gives you that. So for me, I think I was very, very grateful to join Symbiosis. What you get here is basically a very, very high exposure to, first, the 300 people who join across the globe this college, and they generally become your friends and later network throughout the life. This you should never underappreciate. I think after some time you'll appreciate that this was one of the biggest thing you did for yourself. Because when you pass out, maybe 5 years, 7 years, 10 years down the line, you will see you have people sitting in Bangalore, Pune, or all the metro cities or tier 2 cities in India. And then you have people in Malaysia, Singapore, and Dubai, and across the globe. When you start and want to talk to anybody in your WhatsApp, I still have my group of 2006 batch. And, if anything is there for anybody, people are ready to help each other. And that network goes a long way in professional and personal life. That is, I think, first thing. Second, I think the small things the institute teaches you, it is basically going beyond academics. I remember I was a shy kid. I was very, very shy. I just used to study, and I met Dr. Nitin Mahankale, who used to run environmental science as a course that time. I remember he persuaded us to start doing plantation, and I was leading a small team of 4 or 5 people who were to do plantation. This was such a small activity which we started off, that gave me a lot of confidence to start talking to people, start directing them. And I think that is the first step of leadership which you can take. And in corporate, later on, it's all about leadership. That's what that is the gyan which I would like to give today to the students. And today I'm leading a team of 500 people plus. Why I'm here, or how I've reached here, is the small steps which I took from SCMS itself. It was about the environmental club, then it was about entrepreneurial club, then it's about being a class monitor. A lot of people will pull your leg also, that hey, why are you going to lead a team, or why do you want to manage things? But I think the people who take early steps in leadership, that is very, very important in going a long way in your corporate and as well as personal journey. So if you do a startup, if you do your if you go to corporates, it's all obviously it's a mad race. There are 10 people and only 1 or 2 will be reaching the top. And being the management graduates, I think all of the people who have come here have obviously aspirations to build their own businesses or climb the corporate ladder. The only thing which will take them is their instinct, their overall thought process, and their interpersonal skills. These are very, very important things which I think every team member should use SCMS as a platform to develop. Second added advantage which I saw that when we were at, say, Simbi, our seniors, or say batchmates come with diverse backgrounds, different schools from India. And the one of the best, I really feel that it is one of the best undergraduate school in the country today. The benefit you get is extremely good colleagues and your co-workers, your classmates, who have excellent communication, presentation skills. They also help you, inspire you to go above and beyond. As I said that while I was very good in academics, I was very poor in presentation skills. How I developed that was with the help of the faculties and my friends who were there, who helped me to come out. The lot of things which were very new to me. I came from a normal school, and when I entered SCMS, I saw that things like extempore, the things which get the best out of the students. There were a lot of events. For example, Ananya was annual fest that time. I don't know if it's happening right now. The kind of events we used to have. I remember I participated in Jam the first time in my life. I was very nervous, and From the next year, I started doing well. And from the final year, I did much better. These are the opportunities which, and the benefit is that as a student, there's nobody to judge you. Today, if you're leading a team of 1,000 people and you're speaking at a conference, a lot of people will judge you of what you speak every word. But when you're a student, you are, completely tension free. You can speak out your heart out. You can do mistakes. Nobody's there to judge you. And, out of fun, you learn, and that's how you grow. That is the first gyan I would like to give. The second thing I would like to tell people is that Symbiosis as a group, I've been a Symbi student from, say, BBA, and then MBA also I did from Symbiosis itself, from SIBM. The benefit which I think Symbi teaches you is from the students and faculties is that don't be very serious in life, but be very sincere. So there'll be a lot of distractions which will come your way also as young students when they come to cities like Pune, to campuses like Symbiosis, Viman Nagar, it's all like a party hub. So a person should not get distracted in one way. I still see a lot of people who, gone a long way in their journey. I think you should balance your life very well from the start itself. While you are doing parties, you should also know at what time you should get serious about the work and your, studies. If you balance it out, I think it's a great learning. The same thing will happen throughout your life also. There'll be a lot of distractions, but if your aim is clear, if you are very sincere about your overall vision or your mission in life, I think it's a great platform, because very early in your age, you can see what will happen in the corporate. So mostly you will have a lot of groups. Some groups in the college will be very cool. Some will be very, very, academic driven. Some will be in between. I think you, from starting only, you can make such groups. You can hang out with people who speak really well. Those personalities, you get to learn, and you get to do a lot of things. And the final thing which I can say is that, hey, which the things which work to me, the subjects which were in SCMS, I think everything in my MBA was a repetition. So when I entered MBA, entire studies I had done of my BBA already. So when I entered MBA, I was not at all worried about academics, because everything they were teaching already I knew. So I had an added advantage. As soon as I entered SIBM, I started my own startup called V Faculty. It was basically a portal for visiting faculties teaching across the globe. So for example, if a faculty is teaching in SIBM Pune, if he's free, and he's a visiting faculty, he can teach in X college also. If somebody is coming from IIM Bangalore to IIM Calcutta, in Calcutta, he can teach 2 teachers more. So with the faculties network, I started this. It got a amazing funding from Power of Ideas Economic Times and IIM Ahmedabad. That's how it started my entrepreneurial career. And post which, when I saw that I did well in one of the streams, I started off my corporate career. I worked with banks for 5 years with Citi and HSBC, learned a lot of corporate life. I saw that when I did my first entrepreneurship venture, I was not ready. At 21, I didn't know a lot of things of the business. I didn't know about very well partnerships with people. I didn't know how to make teams work together. I always used to feel that what I'm saying is right, but I didn't know the other side of things. When I went to the corporate and worked for 5 years, I understood that the business is not only about you. Business is about taking people together. And if everyone's interests lie together, then only you can succeed. That's what I learned in the banking days in my Citibank, which was a US bank. Then I worked in HSBC, which was a London bank. After 5 years, I said that, hey, I'm a little bit ready now to, start up. I joined a startup called Practo. I was heading their business. And then early stage startup called MyGate started. MyGate is basically a gated community product. I think in Pune, we have started very well. I think in 3,000 societies are using my product, my company's product in Pune today, and in the country used in around 30,000 societies today. This product we started in Bangalore, but Symbi was always in my mind. And when I did my first hiring, I came to SCMS because I knew the brightest of the lot I can get is from SCMS. And I'm very proud to share that I have 75 people plus in my company who are working from SCMS. And I started with the batch of 2017. Very, very smart folks joined us. They are now business leaders in my company. Somebody runs a Pune business, somebody runs Bangalore, somebody is in Bombay. 3-4 year folks, people who joined Symbi from SCMS 2017, today are leading team of 50-60 people from this batch, this college itself. I think in 3 years, they are regional heads and business heads in my company. So very, very smart folks, I think, in SCMS. Amazing place for MyGate, myself to come every year and hire. So look forward to come every year again and again. And I think for that, I'm always in touch with Dr. Ashutosh. Again, this year is going to be a very big thing. And we are coming to get at least 50 bright folks from SCMS. So all the best, guys, and that this is my learning which I wanted to share with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Rohit, in fact, I think in a nutshell, you covered almost everything that we offer at SCMS. And not only from your academic learnings to your corporate exposure, I think to talking about business, startup and failure and, bouncing back. And I think this was great because the people who are sitting on the other side, just waiting to enter SCMS, are going to get really inspired. We really thank you and appreciate, and we'll get back to you in a little while again. Meanwhile, if I look at Sonam and I look at Sonam's journey, so Sonam Chugh, when I look at you graduating from here, moving ahead, and as you mentioned in your profile, coming from, again, a small city, moving up, not exactly a small city, but coming from a different location, moving to Pune, and then moving out, and now today where you are. Sonam, if I may just ask you a very simple question. You spoke a lot about multicultural environment. And, like even Rohit highlighted that diversity at SCMS, we are very proud of it and everyone is well aware of it. So speaking about diversity and multicultural environment at SCMS, it gave you your initial learnings and you wrote about it. You've written about it in your profile, on your LinkedIn. So Sonam, may I request you to please tell us a little bit about this multicultural, diversity and learnings that you took away from us, from SCMS.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saiba. Firstly, I'd like to welcome everybody to their induction session. And it is a great opportunity for me to speak and actually get introduced to people from SCMS UG after so long. I was a part of the first batch of Symbiosis. I come from Abu Dhabi, which is a part of U.A.E. And directly from school, when we speak, the atmosphere and my classmates that we had were mostly part of basically just selected communities in India, because I was a part of an Indian school. But when I moved to Pune, not only was it, it was a new step in my life because it's a completely new city. And for us, we've always been sheltered at home. So when we go to a new city and see new steps, my classmates were from all parts of India, some even all parts of the world. And it was a totally different experience for me because I've not met people, your cultural, your behavior is defined by your culture. And when you meet different people, what you learn from them is it's not the same all the time. Like people back home, because you've seen them over a long period of time, you get accustomed to it. But when you go to a new environment and you're completely blown away because they're all from different parts of the society, culture. It shows you what path you have looking forward to you ahead.
Great. So after knowing all of this, may I request you to just tell our younger lot that when you engage in productive learning, because I'm very sure the first steps allow you to engage in productive learning and take this, like even Rohit pointed out, forward to the new chapter of your life. So what were those productive learnings for you that maybe led your footsteps, to the ladder and to the place where you are today?
So what I learned, the most important thing that I've learned as a part of my education and work experience is firstly to be patient. Secondly, to listen. I come from a sales background, and being a part of a team, you have to always learn to listen because I am a very talkative person and I love to talk. If I start talking, I could talk for an hour. And it's just getting other people bored, but that's not your motive. What you're going to do, you have to, when you go out to meet people or meet clients or even your colleagues, you first need to understand what they expect of you. And if you want to come up with a solution for somebody, you can only do that once you listen to somebody. So listening is the most important part. I mean, we can keep talking, but listening is the most important factor, and being patient, because like I love to talk, there's somebody else who loves to talk too. And they could not be talking about a topic that you want to really listen to, but it could lead to something that is beneficial for you. So listening is the most important factor. Secondly, I would say is we all are in it right now. I mean, as a part of being newly in college, is we're all in for the learning experience. So nobody is perfect. Nobody is come learn from home. Everybody is here to learn. If we if we're giving an presentation, for example, it is always easy to criticize others. But what I learned is, if you think you can criticize others, you need to be able to learn to accept criticism yourself. Because like I said, nobody is perfect. So if you accept criticism from your classmates, your faculty, you learn better as a whole experience, because then you can correct yourself along the way. It's easier for you to correct yourself only once you accept that you are wrong and not perfect. And lastly, what I would say is learning to set short-term and long-term goals. I mean, if you have your vision in mind, what you want to achieve, to start with being a part of the bachelor's course, what you want to achieve from this, and then divide that long-term goal to short-term daily targets. That these are the few things that I want to achieve or complete on a daily basis, which will help me ultimately get to my final goal that I have set for myself, being a part of the bachelor's degree that I have signed up for. So these are, I would say, the 3 pointers for me. And obviously, not forget to have fun while we're studying too.
Right. I think that was great. Sonam, thank you. And I think, yes, hearing or listening, patience, and definitely charting out your goal plan. I think, again, all in all together, you've summed up. And along with that, to have fun, which is very essential, because true, you are in college, but you are here with a career plan in mind. Thank you so much, Sonam. We'll get back to you again, and we will continue the discussion. For Moiz, I really don't know what to say. He is out of the 3 alumni, one of the most junior most, and he graduated recently. And Moiz was also an active member of our Initiate Club, which is the environment conscious and entrepreneurial, and a club which, enables community development. And he was also a very important member of the Fest Simpulse, because he was the executive committee member who led the team. And of course, as always, they had a successful fest. So as Rohit mentioned, Ananya, whether Ananya is happening nowadays. Yes, Rohit, Ananya is not only happening, but it has culminated to become even bigger, even better. And it is an important wing, the culture, dance, drama, and an important wing of what is known as Simpulse, the international annual fest of our SCMs. So Moiz, coming over to you, I would just like to know, when I was reading about you and having taught you, and that you were recently with us, some years back. So you said reading. Well, I didn't really realize that, but when I read through properly, and I realized that you're really a fan of reading books in today's times, and especially the pandemic times, when things have become more online. Yes, people have got back to their passion, or people have got driven. So Moiz, may I know a little bit about this reading hobby of yours? I mean, did it develop off late, or has it always been with you? And what is it that you really like reading, Moiz?
Okay, first of all, I would just like to say good morning to everyone, Sabiha ma'am, Sonika ma'am, Mr. Rohit, and Ms. Sonam. I've just been reading about them before, I actually started this Zoom call. And guys, I'm just a really big fan. And if I'm a little informal today, please just forgive me, because that's how I am usually. I'll just try to be as formal as I can. It's just really happy to see, familiar faces And the names of faculties on the screen that I can see: Dr. Adya ma'am and Ashutosh sir, Varsha ma'am. It's just very nostalgic to be a part of everyone and everything after such a long time. And like you mentioned, ma'am, about reading. Yes, indeed, I love reading. Anything that is non-academic, obviously. Uh, I mean, all my faculty would agree to that. But yes, I do like reading, in my spare time whenever I get a chance to, because it is something that, really makes me feel a little calmer. And, I'm really into reading autobiographies, geopolitical articles, and, sometimes history. I'm not really into fiction and all. So sorry for being a bummer to all the people who love fiction, but yeah. And like apart from reading, like Miss Sonam said, about listening, I am a really big fan of listening, because I love listening to people's stories and how they climb up the ladder and whatnot, because it is something, the best thing after reading, that you actually get to know more about people when you listen to them, how they talk, what they talk about, and what the facts they really have. And personally, I would really suggest everyone to carry an encyclopedia or maybe a dictionary, because these are the two things that they have been the best inventions since the carving of the wheel. And it really does help you to be informed and sound a little smarter than you already are. Yeah, so that is what I
Great.
know about you.
Moiz, having said that, Moiz, may I ask you that if when you entered SCMS, you wrote that you were a little shy and kind of a reserved person who did not interact much and liked to be on your own. However, when you moved out as a leader of Simpulse and interacting, leading a huge team of more than around 350 people. So I would like to know your learnings, not only from SCMS, but from Simpulse and from the Initiate Club. And how is it that you can translate them into your career goals today? Because today you are a director at KaenatCorp, your family-owned managed business, and you're innovating and taking it to newer heights, as we can see from your website and from what you wrote to us. So really proud of you. And so if you could just share a little bit that how Simpulse evolved you as a person, as a leader, maybe how Initiate struck that right chord in you, and how you entering SCMS and moving out of SCMS were not entirely, but two different people in your personality.
Mm-hmm. So I would just like to start by saying that it's only been approximately 2.5 years since I started working, after graduation. And I'm not even half as experienced as the panelists we have today, Mr. Rohit and Mr. Rohit and Miss Sonam. And it's really great to be alongside them, because if you ask me where I want to be maybe 5 or 10 years later in my life, I would definitely say in their places. So it is really, an honor to be with them. And secondly, I would say yes. I was a very shy person when I actually entered SCMS. I wasn't really very talkative and very reserved. I actually even missed my own induction because I joined college 20 days later than the prescribed date. So talking about learnings, I would say if we count how to cook dal chawal and paying your electricity bills on your own and operating a washing machine as learning, then I have definitely learned a lot. There was Simpulse, there was Initiate. So Initiate was the community service and environmental club of SCMS. I was the core member in my first year, and then I was given the opportunity to become a head in my second year. And then came a lot of opportunities. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Moiz, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We can. I think the network is fine.
Yeah. So yes, through Initiate, there was a lot of learning as to, I've always had this knack for helping people out and wanting to know what they're going through and really wanting to, be a support system for them. And that is how I really learned how to be a little more empathetic towards everyone. And it really helps you in the long run, because whether you're in the corporate world or any other world, you would definitely want to have those qualities in you to have to gel with a lot of people. And just a little about this college, how it actually how the diversity helped me grow and all of that, is that never in my entire long quarters of a century life that I lived had I experienced such a diverse environment. For a student who's coming from Gurgaon, the maximum diversity I had seen was from West Delhi or East Delhi, or if we talk international, there was Noida. So, but I really got to know with depth as to how interesting people are, and how they carry and represent years and ages of their culture. It was to be very honest, an exhilarating experience. The diversity, it really helps you shape yourself into a person who is very dynamic and can blend in with different people, which will in turn help you in becoming a globalized person in every way. And yeah, that is how Simpulse actually helped me, because it was around 500 to 600 people, all of us working together. I saw myself as a leader, but actually at every level, of core, of being a head or being an executive, I just realized that I have to be there with everyone, just not at the top. So it really made me understand people as how they were, and it just paid off.
Right. Thank you, Moiz. And this was nice because you as an individual got an opportunity to change. Not only to change, but I think you took it with open arms, because opportunities are available at SCMS and you all are aware of that. But how well you take it, you imbibe it, is up to the individual. So we're very happy to know that, yes, and you're taking it forward now in your career as you are into your own entrepreneurial business. We'll get back to you again in a while. And Sonam, again, maybe if I can come back to you and ask you, if today, being in the online scenario, our students since last year are learning only through online, and I understand it gets very monotonous for them, for us, though we all try to engage in different ways. But if you were a student in today's times, okay, as opposing to the times when you joined the SCMS, not only offline, but in a different setup. Years ago, you were from the first batch, the most nostalgic and the landmark batch. And Moiz is from the, almost towards the late batches. So I think this question would be maybe one by one to both of you, where I would like to ask Sonam that if you were in the position today and into online learning, okay, averse to what you were in the offline scenario, what would be your learning mantra, or how would you try to keep up pace and keep yourself, still into the learning mode? So though it gets monotonous and everything, you told us 3 things I still remember: learning, patience, and goal setting. How would it have been in the online platform? And how would it have been 15 years down the line today if you were a student?
So to be honest, it is completely, it's a totally completely different learning environment today, because more than being there in person, you're actually just communicating with your classmates online. But for me, I have actually for the past 8 years been working from home. So even prior COVID, my past 2 jobs and where I'm currently is been working from home, because I manage different city, so which does not require me to be in the office, but to work off-road. Okay. What I've basically learned, what I've learned from my experience of being from home even before COVID is that it's totally about planning the way you work. Way you work, way you study, and it is very important to I know it gets boring, but you need to have something that keeps you engaged. Very important is taking a break. Like sometimes, especially students who love to study and it's all about the marks, they would just keep studying. It's very important to stop and take a break, because otherwise it's going to it's going to affect you negatively, because you'll just be about you absorbed so much, but to process what you absorbed or listened to is extremely important. And it's always important to also talk to others. If you're facing a difficult, not all of us just find this easy to study online and work distantly. I've always, for me now, it's over 8 years that I'm working alone. as compared to my colleagues who are in office. So I think communication is something that's very important. So if you feel alone, or you feel left out because you're just talking to a computer technically and not an actual person, you need to obviously make friends, which you learn at your college level. Make new friends, and somebody you can go fall back on or speak to when you're in a situation you feel totally out of place. So communication is very important. Like, you need to talk to people.
Right, I understand. And Moiz, the same thing, if you were, to come back to SCMS and in the online mode, I would like you to just share something with our students who would be initially beginning off in the online mode due to the current situation, and how has online scenario, maybe in your business, maybe if you were a student today, how is the adapting mechanism for you and how can you make the most of it?
Right.
Being in online, even being in online.
Right. So since last year, beginning of the pandemic, everything changed for everyone in the world. And since then, I have seen, a lot of students, start their courses online. Even my own brother, he started his college last year. He's in second year now. He doesn't even know what college is for now. But it's really interesting to see how people can, leverage technology, in every form, in terms of learning, in terms of working, in terms of doing anything. And specifically, when you talk about SCMS, I don't think it would have made a huge difference apart from the campus life, because the faculty is going to remain the same. The courses they're going to teach you is also going to remain the same. It's the speciality of the faculty and this college that wraps itself around you, and they make you feel like home. When I was in Pune, I used to feel like, yes, I am, in a home which is away from my own home. But if you talk about me, studying online with the same college, I would say that, yes, I have another home inside my own home. So it would have been really nice. And I can still, I've still, encountered a few juniors who are studying with SCMS as of now, and who are studying online. And they are very much learning. They are very much a part of all the extracurricular activities, and giving their papers. So I would just give them all the new students and advice that attend your classes, don't miss anything, and for sure all the faculty are going to love you, and they're going to treat you like their own kids. They're going to help you out in every way possible, even if they're not physically there. So just be there, be attentive, and it's going to go smooth for everyone.
Right. Thank you so much, Moiz. Rohit, coming back to you, and I understand, Rohit, you have a busy schedule, and I suppose you have a meeting to attend at 12. We won't take much of your time. We are almost going to come towards the end of our panel discussion. But Rohit, I would like to ask you that you've seen it all, at least till now. I mean, this side, then the MBA side, then, being the entrepreneur, then working and into multi-diverse environments. So what is the kind of learning that you want to, maybe not an advice is a very wrong word, maybe you want to give as a takeaway to our young minds today who are going to join SCMS, that in their undergraduate days, what are the skills or qualities that you would like to tell them to pick up and imbibe that would help them to take a great career move forward? So, or maybe you felt that, oh, if I could have learned this, or maybe Sonam, or maybe Moiz felt, if I could have put some more time here, in those days, maybe I could have been even more better, or maybe I could have even got this kind of an opportunity. So what is it that you want to tell them even before they begin, Rohit, that can help them channelize so they are ready for jobs and for your company as well?
Okay. So, as I think Sonam said one thing which I really liked is it's not about only you. It's about, the audience which you are there. What are they looking to hear from you? I would like to take the theme from there and say, it's you also need to live in the moment in the program. For example, what happens is in Indian culture, we are in very much of hurry to create our own careers very fast. And in the process, what happens is we miss out on the learning as well as the fun and the time which you can spend in the college. So my first thing which I can tell you is do not be very, very stressful about the careers which will happen to you after 3 years, like getting into placements. I felt that I could have done the coaching after the third year. Maybe I did it after second year. I took the MBA coaching, and my last full year was sitting in that IMS college in Shorab Hall near the station, where we used to go for the MBA coaching in the morning, then evening. So I think that 1 year I should have not wasted there. I should have taken one more year and enjoyed my time at SCMS very well, which is a learning phase. So my one suggestion to all the students will be to live at the moment and extract the maximum out of the course also, because this course itself, if I look back, is a very, very valuable course. Lot of discipline products, like for example, the things which, sometimes people do mistake is that in the class itself they are trying to prepare for the MBA and they are not listening to the teacher what is teaching in BBA. That is the biggest mistake I think people do, because the course which you have taken and already got selected, you are not appreciating that, and you're wasting the time here and thinking about the future must. So first thing I would say is that make the most out of it, also become a better person. So what Sonam was saying, how I would like to tell to people is that in a group you should be a likable person, and that group can be anywhere. It can be your college, it can be your later personal life, friends and family, and then it will go on to the corporate also. I have seen very less instances in my life that a person who is very, very unlikable and people do not like to hang out with them and work with them, they becoming business leaders is very, very less. Generally, people like to be with them whom they like to be with. They want to spend time with. So, and this will start from the college itself. You will have a lot of groups which are of academia, and then also of hanging out personally, making group of sports and even parties. From everywhere you can learn things of great importance which you cannot learn maybe in future. That is the one thing I think we should take from the college. Use this 3 years as a very good stepping stone time of your career, to use it for the future, rather than using this time to think and getting worried about future placements or getting started for the MBA early and not enjoying this whole course, is what I say people should not do. So for my thing, I said the 2 years were beautiful. Third year went a lot in the preps of the MBA, which I felt I could, if I would have not taken, I would have again participated in the Ananya of the third year also, and a lot of other things which I could have done that I left out. So that is the first thing I can tell to people.
Right. Thank you so much. So I think all of you spoke about to the extent of academics being important with co-curricular and extracurricular. Definitely. And I think balance. I believe Moiz, Sonam and Rohit, you were not only a part of academics, but you all were a part of much beyond academics. And I think this is where that right balance, striking the right chord comes in between. So I would definitely wind up, but just one thing before I go. Again, Moiz, if I may ask you about specializations, because I think at the time of Sonam, we did have the 3 basics. And Rohit, if I may ask you, at your time, did you specialize into, single, dual? How did you, what were your?
Mine was general management. There was no specialization at my time.
Again, right. And even I think Sonam, you had something, but at Moiz's time, it was very, very different. In fact, so if I may just ask Moiz to throw a little light about your own specialization and how did you, add value to your career, or will be adding value to your career with those specialization learnings of SCMS? Because as Rohit and Sonam may see now, our cafeteria approach that we very proudly call it, and our subjects and our variety and diversity of electives, with 6 specializations. I think you rightly said, Rohit, that what all I'm going to do at my master's, the strongest base is at the BBA level, and it's almost, taking you forward there, so your journey gets easy. True. So this, I think, would be like my finale question to Moiz, and after which we'll just do a brief wrap up. Okay, so Moiz, if you could please tell us about the specializations and how you managed to gain benefit from them.
So one of the main reasons that I joined particularly this college was the extent of specializations we had and this college was offering. And in my second year I chose marketing and human resource management as my specializations. I had a degree in BBA with dual specialization. That's what I got. So why I chose marketing was basically because something that I really, actually liked in my first year. It was actually taught by the director of our college, Dr. Adesh Sharma. And that was the moment I decided that this is one thing that I really want in the next 2 years of my college life. And there were people who actually told me that you should really, choose marketing, and, the way you are and the way you conduct yourself, you should really, dive into that. The second specialization I had was human resource management. It was actually something that I'm really proud of that I, took, because it has a lot of electives and subjects that I'm actually using today in my real life, in my business life, and like industrial relations and whatnot, labor laws and everything. So the cafeteria approach this college is offering, all sorts of specializations. One of the specializations that you yourself taught, ma'am, entrepreneurship. I really wanted to be a part of it. If we had an option of having 3 specializations, one of them would have definitely been entrepreneurship. But yes, I mean, even if you don't have more than 2 specializations, there is, you can still have one specialization and choose electives from others. And that is something which is really great about this college, because I saw people studying finance and having electives from environmental management at the same time. I have seen people who are going to have careers in green marketing. This is something really, really unique and appreciative, I would say. So I think you can really go for technical courses in the future, even if you've done BBA, in your undergraduate level. And talking about myself, if I want to do something, study further in my life, I would definitely go for a technical course, because this course has definitely given me the chance to actually excel, or at least, have some experience in every subject that it was offering. So yeah, I would just, tell everyone that do not miss your classes at all, study well, and also party if you want. I wouldn't say you shouldn't. But, yes, I mean,
Absolutely right at this platform.
no, Mr. Rohit and Mr. Sona would definitely agree with me. But yes, you should definitely study. At least on this platform, I would say, just, do whatever
Go
you
ahead and blend everything correctly.
Yes,
right.
yes.
Right. After this, I think this was really enlightening. In fact, for me to hear from my students and to hear from somebody from the first batch right up to Rohit, then to Moiz, and being here for about almost 11 years now, I can see the transition in students, going and making us so proud. And not only in India, but globally. I mean, we can see right from our panel that they're doing so well for themselves. And I sincerely appreciate Rohit, Sonam, and Moiz for your time, for your valuable learnings that you gave us, all of us here. And I would request that please, as you always are, stay connected. Stay connected through our alumni portal. And you are. I mean, I'm not saying it only to you, but of course to everybody here, that even when you graduate out, please stay connected. Be with us, come back to us, and keep sharing like you did today. Okay? And thank you. Thanks a lot. And really, really happy that you were here with us, and try to stay with us for the next 2 days if possible, if your schedule permits, and be a part of our induction. And again, without taking much of your time, I'll hand over to Rakshit and our hosts for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you to all the alumni members and ma'am for the inspiring and thought-provoking discussion. I request all the members of the panel to stay on the platform for the investiture ceremony. Spread over a course of 5 days, Simpulse is the annual college festival at Symbiosis Center for Management Studies, Pune. Last year, Simpulse celebrated its 12th year, and it prides itself on being Pune's biggest college fest.
The executive committee of Simpulse is a team of 8 dedicated and passionate members who lead the organizing committee of the fest. We now proceed to the investor ceremony of the executive committee.
We request the Simpulse Executive Committee for the academic year 21-22 to come live on the platform for the ceremony. Rishi Kejriwal, Finance and Simulate.
Sahas Code, Sponsorship, Headlines, and Technicals and Production.
Lakshya Jain, Press, Creatives and SMG.
Nehal Shah, Domestic and International Relations and Marketing.
Manavi Mahajan, Guest Relations and Simon.
Saket Rao, Compliance and Sprint.
Anushka Meghwani, Ananya and Hospitality.
And Kshitij Raj Mehra, Procurement and Security. May I now request Dr. Sabiha Fazlboy to kindly administer the oath.
Sure. Thank you so much, Amrita. I would first like to welcome Team Simpulse. Thank you so much, students. And as Moiz can relate, and maybe Rohit and Sonam can also relate through Ananya, this is the most proud moment for you to be, in the platform where Simpulse is today after such a long, glorious past. And I'm very sure you as a team, along with the HOD's core and the entire SCMS student team, would take it higher and higher. Welcome aboard. We will start with the formal oath, and I would start, you can continue. Okay, so let's begin. I,
Anushka Meghwani,
Kshitijraj Mehra,
Lakshay Jain,
Manavi Mahajan, Nihal Shah,
Rishi Kejriwal,
Sahas Khod,
Saket Rao,
do solemnly pledge that I will, yes, please begin.
do solemnly pledge that I will
shoulder the responsibilities entrusted to me
and execute the duties of Simpulse Executive Committee
in an ethical manner and will live up to the faith placed in me by my team members, faculty, administration, and fellow students
in promoting and carrying out the activities
relating to the annual fest of
Symbiosis Center for Management Studies, Pune.
Thank you so much. And I wish you all the best, and we wish you success and stay blessed. And welcome aboard Simpulse 2022. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
And congratulations to the newly appointed members of the Executive Committee. With this, we have come to the end of the investor ceremony for all the 3 student bodies. May I now request Professor Sajeesh Hamza to present the vote of thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Amrita. Rohit, Moiz, and Sonam. Love to see you all here back. Great. Visit again. Many things are there where you can contribute to our institute and to our students. And a wonderful session where each one of you have said about different things of your learning experience and your experience in your life. And each one is completely different from others. For example, I just noted down certain points which I really touched upon. Rohit said something, don't take stress and look into the present. That's true. That's true. When you get into the life experience, you'll get back and then you remember, you think about that. That's true. And enjoy your teaching. That I liked it. Yeah, sometimes sitting in front of the teachers and just listening to them, it gives so many other things. Yeah, true. And Sonam, patience. Everybody act like they have patience, but they really don't. But we have to cultivate that. That's true. That comes from your experience. That's true. And listening, yeah, everybody knows it, but nobody likes to do it. Fine. Learning, true. And the moment you explained that about that learning, I also remember about a quote related to Steve Jobs, where he says, "Stay foolish." I do not know how many knows it. It's one of his very famous quotes. He says something and then finally says, "Stay foolish." It's there. Great. And Sonam also told to take breaks in between. Wonderful. That nobody even thinks when you get involved into your work, you forgot to take break to think what you did before, what you did in the past. Are you doing something correct or wrong? Good. And stop to think. That's exactly right. As an entrepreneur, Rohit Jindal might be knowing about the stability and agility, where you have to stay for some time when you do good things and again improve. Good. And Moiz, reading. Nowadays, I do not know, even today's world, your young generations loves reading, then it's great thing to do. Mostly you read from books or from internet, Moiz?
So mostly it's articles and sometimes anything non-fiction, I would say.
Okay.
And
So
non-academic.
you use more from internet or more from books, something like that?
I mean, it depends whatever comes my way. I mean, I keep looking for books, but on the internet, everything comes to you.
Great.
So you know, you really have to run around to, you know, find good books. And
Okay, so nowadays, yeah, same thing. Today's generation getting into the books and reading, but reading, let that happen, whichever format it happens. That's good. And again, one of your unique something is from your side is helping people, which you said that when you help, you understand their problems, whichever way, not that in a technical way or not in your career way, whichever way in which you can help others, you can listen to them so that good. So these are the type of leadership qualities that we have seen in one of you three people, and take away for the coming batch now. What they want, what they don't want, it's up to them to take, and depends upon their habits and other things. It's them to take what they want and what to leave. Okay, so with this, I'll welcome you all. Welcome all the new admissions, and the new coordinator for this particular batch, Sonali ma'am and Sonika ma'am, the batch faculty, and Sabya ma'am. Thanks for putting wonderful questions, because it said that good answers comes from good questions. Thanks everyone, and Sonika ma'am for wonderfully organizing everything, and our director for giving the best as far as the students are concerned. Thank you everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. We now have Ms.